Hi, my name is Robert Chelle with Chelle Law, and I'm an attorney that assists nurse practitioners with employment contract and independent contractor agreement issues. Today I'm going to talk about the problems associated with the nurse practitioner working at multiple locations. So if you're an NP looking for a new job and you're going to sign an employment contract, there should be some specific details in that contract. One of them should be what your expected schedule is. So what are your hours? Is it 9 to 5? Maybe you're doing 410s, something like that. And then also there should be some listing of the locations. So maybe you're entering into a practice that has multiple locations in the city. You want to specifically say, these are the locations where you're going to be expected to provide care, and on these days. And then very importantly, there needs to be language in the contract that states you have to mutually agree if they're going to change your hours or your locations or the days that you're working. That way you're not being shuffled around town or working on a Saturday when there was no expectation that you were supposed to work on Saturdays. It can be pretty frustrating for an NP to enter into a job where they put very little detail about when they're working, how long you're working, which locations you're working at. And some employers will try to say, oh, well, we want the flexibility to put you in the best place and that type of thing. But that leads to very quick dissatisfaction with the position. So you need to be firm when you are negotiating the agreement that it needs to say specifically where you're working, when you're working at those places, and what the hours that you're working. Now, it's not uncommon for a place to, for an employer to put into the contract that they'll say MP must work an average of 36 clinical patient hours per week, and then they'll allow, maybe a half day, 4 hours for administrative work. That's fine. But you also want language that says a maximum of that amount. If you're on a base salary and you're an exempt employee, then they can make you work a little bit more than that. So you just want to make certain they're not taking advantage of your time. Maybe they're just poor at scheduling and it's just continuous late patients or patients going over into the evening when you're not expecting to have to work that late. So you want to make certain there's also language in the contract that says you won't work more than an average of 40 hours per week or whatever it is, on top of some kind of call responsibilities. Usually, if you're in some kind of outpatient clinic setting, there'll usually be some kind of after hours call where you have to triage if there's a sick patient or something like that. So that's kind of an expectation of the position if you're a base salaried employee. But that should be listed as well. What are your call responsibilities? To what locations? So once again, if you're working in multiple locations and you're taking after hours call, which locations are you taking call from? Are they all pooled? It's not uncommon if let's say a practice has 8 different locations within a large city, they'll pool all of the after hours call, and then that way it's just kind of, you have to take less call overall because you're just triaging for the 1 in 10 call or something like that. So those are some considerations if you're a nurse practitioner working in multiple locations. Make certain it's spelled out specifically in the contract where you're working, when you're working, how much you're working, and then you need to have the ability to say yes or no if they want to change any of those variables. All right, if you have any questions about your employment contract or independent contractor agreement, feel free to contact my law firm at the information listed below in the description. And I appreciate you watching the video. All right, thanks. Take care.